Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. The father? Grandfather? What do other people say?
The grandfather of isekai.
The grandfather of isekai.
The grandfather of modern isekai, or the grandmother, or the father, or the alcoholic uncle who shows.
Whatever it is. It spawned many cliche tropes that we see in isekai shows today. Truck-kun, a nerdy protagonist, complex magic systems, adventurers guilds, weird monster girls with 3 tits. Okay, I know that's not a trope, but I just had to point that out. I mean, come on, this guy gets it. Now, just because it created many of these tropes doesn't mean the show's actually good. I mean, look at all the isekai trash we've seen recently. Almost all of them follow at least one of these tropes, and most of them rely on fan service to keep viewers happy. If Mushoku Tensei served as an inspiration for these shows, I don't even want to bother with this corny run-of-the-mill fantasy anime. Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, it is corny. Yes, at times it can be run-of-the-mill, but man is it a good show. So I'm here to tell you to watch it. Go. Watch it. It's good. Trust me. But it's 23 episodes, dude. That sounds like too much. Trust me, it's worth it. If you aren't convinced yet, just watch the rest of this video, please. We start off with a dying old guy who gets reincarnated into another world. As you do. This is Rudius Greyrat. He's a 40-year-old man who restarted his life after jacking off to hentai during his parents' funeral. Yes, he is a creep. Yes, he might be a pedophile. But boy does he love his RPGs. So much so that once he's introduced to magic in his new life, he immediately throws away his boob addiction and gets on the grind. As any Genshin player would.
Look at those fucking
boobs.
She's fucking perfect. Hey, Mona?
He originally starts out by only being able to make a few water balls each day, which is obviously pathetic. So he starts making more, and more, and more, until he gets to the point where he can make enough water in a day to end a California drought. So Rudy's like, yeah, that's good. Let's try a different spell.
優柔たる水の精霊にして地を流れしせせらぎの王女よ。内に秘めたる合力にてあらゆるものを押し流せ。スプラッシュフロー。
Nah, that's not it, but I'm amending my synopsis here. The main reason why I am is because of how fun it is to discover more about the world through Rudy's point of view. We started the show with very little knowledge. After all, the first episode just takes place in Rudy's home. All we know is that the mom's a healer, the dad likes swinging his sword, in more ways than one, and whatever stuff we could pull out of this single book about magic. We aren't immediately thrown into the world and immediately fed with lore and politics and adventuring. We learn everything slowly, the same way Rudy does. As we learn more, we're introduced to some characters that seem pretty normal at first, but each one of these characters has a hidden depth that isn't discovered immediately. Once again, we learn about these things slowly, the same way Rudy does. Once we do learn more, we start to understand that almost all of these characters are extremely flawed and are far away from perfect. Each character in this show is battling their own personal demons and trying to become the best version of themselves they could possibly be. Let's take the dad, Paul Greyrat, as an example. You start off the show thinking that he's a perfectly normal father and there probably isn't anything wrong with him. Let's see what his old friends think of him.
そういえば、お二人は国老の牙の元メンバーだったのですよね。昔のパウロさんってどんな感じだったのでしょう。
クズじゃな。クズですわ。あの男の話はしたくありませんの。
And even though I'm not given the exact reason why they think that, after a few episodes with him, I know his character enough to safely assume why he had that reputation. But gosh darn it, I still love that man! Every character, from Rudy to Paul to this bitch, I know their characters well enough to overlook their troubles and bad qualities and view them like real people. Everyone in this show feels so genuine that we grow to care about them even if they're pieces of shit. I'm looking at you, Rudy. Yeah, it's hard for a lot of people to overlook that, and that's one of the major complaints with Mushoku Tensei. This creep is the main protagonist. He does a lot of weird shit in this anime later on too, and man, it's tough to forget about it. But he gets better, I promise. Okay, well, not soon, but what do you expect from a creepy 40-year-old NEET? Having this anime take place in a medieval fantasy world isn't going to help either. It takes some time. As it should, because it wouldn't be realistic if Rudy was born in this world and was like, I have no interest in that. Stuff like this will never encourage me to do messed up shit. I am not into that. If you've seen the show, you'd understand how tough it is to overlook some of the shit he does, but if you just view it as a childish thing that he will eventually grow out of, then it's somewhat bearable. And trust me, if you get over the weird fan service shit, this show is really amazing to watch. The animation is superb, the music is great, the characters are interesting as fuck, the world building is excellent, every epic plot point hits, every emotional bit hits. Mushoku Tensei is one of the best shows I've ever watched, and I encourage every anime fan to give this show the recognition it deserves. It was unfortunate that the first season got completely bulldozed by Attack on Titan's popularity, because if this was aired during any other season, it probably would have been just as successful, if not more popular than isekai like ReZero and Konosuba. Please support it. Please. I just want another season, man.